I'm not going to stand here in front of one of the great wonders of the world and argue about an old movie. I'll go back inside. If you figure out some plan to make $800 last a lifetime, knock on the door. I'll be in there.
You're listening to the Keeping Your Money Show with Jamie Westenbarger and Bart Steinler.
All right, welcome back to Keep Your Money Show. Jamie Westenbarger, joined as always by Bart Steinler. Just tuning in or you've been listening the whole time. We talked about 5 changes you may be seeing soon in your retirement plans. Also, colleges asking for a share of future salary instead of tuition. A really cool and kind of unique idea. I did want to mention in that story that I didn't mention when we were talking about it. Do you know Yale actually chartered that idea back in the 1960s?
Really?
Yeah, and then they discontinued it. I mean, they have like $1 trillion endowment fund, so they probably...
I mean, having $1 trillion endowment fund seems like it would enable you to
do more things like that.
Be able to do more things like that
Right.
Instead of strapping people with hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt in order to get a law degree from your school.
Mm-hmm, for sure. Something that definitely needs to be considered more and more. I would like to see, we talk about this all the time, politicians, blah, 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 same stuff all the time,
Yeah.
Every single person running for governor in this state, same story. Half of them been politicians their whole lives, but if they become governor, they're going to solve all our problems. They haven't done anything while they've been politicians the whole rest of the time, but sure, whatever. But no conversation about how much money, all of the state schools get. No conversation about how we don't tie state funding to what they're charging for tuition. Really at a state level, we should control a lot of the costs of education, and we just choose not to. The state government just chooses not to get involved. That in itself really should be something that we should be hearing people talking about. Why does the University of Michigan, near and dear to my heart, go blue, but why do they have $100 and some billion endowment and continue to raise tuition at 8% a year or more?
Right.
With us giving them tax dollars on top of that.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
And administrative costs, I'm going just crazy. I read an article recently where they had a new department in the university, and the total cost for the different people working in that department was like something in the order of $850,000 a year. And, that doesn't really do anything for the students. That doesn't really make their education any better.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy.
No, definitely not. All right. Let's see. Well, let me tell you, if you ever miss any part of the show, you can always find it on our website. Go to keepingyourmoney.com. You can always find it on our podcast partners as well. iTunes, Google Play Music, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Stitcher. Just go there and search for the Keeping Your Money Show. You can download it or you can subscribe to it, and it'll just automatically download to your phone or digital device every week when it gets broadcast. You're always welcome to send your questions, concerns, or thoughts to us. You can do that by email, info@keepingyourmoney.com. That's info@keepingyourmoney.com. If you've been listening to us for a long time and you maybe need a second opinion, maybe you need a first opinion, maybe you've never had an opinion, your only opinion is your own. We love to sit down and give free consultations to anyone that wants to see us. You're welcome to give us a call. 888-98-MONEY is the number. That's 888-986-6639, and schedule that with Bart or myself, and we would be happy to meet with you. So, we hear all the time, maybe it's on a national radio program where all that's ever talked about is debt. Maybe it's mom or dad. But if you rein in your spending and you don't have debt, you're going to be just fine in the world, right? Mm-hmm. And interestingly, this article kind of takes the idea and says, well, not quite. And, we talk a lot of times, Bart, about how things that maybe were true 40 years ago aren't quite true today. This might be one of those, because the reality is back in the day when my parents were saving, my grandparents were saving, maybe many people that are listening to us right now on the radio have been saving. CD rates, savings account rates, fixed annuity rates, 6, 7, 8%, right? If all you did was save by pure compounding interest, you're going to see your money grow and grow. But in the last decade, that just hasn't existed. I mean,
No.
zero.
No, I know at one point in my life, when it was during the Jimmy Carter administration, you could buy a zero coupon bond that paid a rate of 13.75%, backed by the U.S. government. Okay, I mean you cannot not buy that. That is just a remarkable opportunity to put safe money away and get a tremendous return on it. But those days are gone. And so you have to adjust the way you think about investing. Now, a lot of people during the the 2008, they either lost, or they saw their parents lost, or they saw people they knew lose a lot of money in the market. And a lot of that is because they probably didn't have their investments allocated properly. Some of it might have been that they
Too aggressive?
They were too aggressive, or when things started going, they got scared and bailed out and didn't wait for things to come back. A lot of reasons for it, but the truth of the matter is a lot of people lost, and that left a negative connotation about investing. And so a lot of people said, okay, I'm just going to put the money in the bank in that. But if you just put the money in the bank and interest rates that they pay are low, you're actually not keeping up with inflation.
Right. No, I mean, right now, if you say inflation's 3%, you're lucky to find, 2.25%, at a bank.
Right.
On anything.
Right. So let's say you're giving up between the inflation rate and what you're getting at the bank, you're giving up 1% a year. And actually, I think you're giving up more than that.
Yeah.
But over a period of years, what that money is going to actually purchase, what the purchasing power of that money will be substantially less than what it is today. You have to have an investment strategy that you're going to, at least in a conservative mode, you're going to at least keep up with the rate of inflation, if not exceed it.
Right. And one of the things that we've seen, I mean, this is my 19th year in the financial services business. One of the things that I've noticed is we've always had the 40-year-olds coming in and wanting to start investing. They've paid off their student loans, they got a house, they're established, they're in good jobs,
Their income's starting to increase.
Right. But I think we're starting to see, and we'll start to see more of it even more as time goes on, because there's a new dynamic to that. And that is that many of the millennials who actually have a good chunk of money, they're saving well. They're not going into debt. I mean, we see it with kids of clients of ours and kids that we work with and kids that work here. And, I mean, they're actually very good with their money.
They're actually adults, but they're just younger than us.
Right. Well, they're not even that much younger than me. But yeah, I'm like just outside of the millennial. No, but it's interesting because they're actually doing better than their parents were at their age. Mm-hmm. But the one component of it they're missing is they're not investing. And I think on a large scale, there's a couple of contributing factors. You mentioned some of them. They saw their parents get wiped out.
Right.
They might have actually seen their parents lose their home or be forced to move, right? Lose jobs, lose stock options. So investing scares them. The other thing, though, that's contributing to this is they have grown up in 100% information world, right? Mm-hmm. If you ask one of my kids a question, they will answer it by grabbing their phone, okay Googling it, and telling you, as my okay Google opens up, and they will tell you the answer, right? Well, investing is not that simple. Unfortunately, when you go online to try and get information, you're going to either find an ad, you're going to find a website trying to sell you something. You're going to find, it's not like you just go directly to, the source that will tell you exactly what you need to know. So what we're finding in studies that are being done is many times they fear they don't know enough to start. And so they're never walking through the door. They're never opening an account because they're afraid they don't know enough. And by not knowing enough, they're almost guaranteeing themselves that they're not going to be prepared for retirement because they're not taking advantage of the decades they have for this money to grow.
Right. And you look at other professions where you hire or somehow get in touch with a professional to help you through things that you can't do for yourself. Not that they cannot do this for themselves, but it takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of knowing where to go, and it takes a lot of inside knowledge to properly build a portfolio and properly match the right portfolio to the right person and properly plan out a strategy over a period of years. That's not something you're just going to get by, hopping on the internet and reading a few articles. Much the same way you're not going to know complicated tax strategies by hopping on the internet and reading a few articles. Much like you're not going to be able to know what medical procedures are right for your particular condition by hopping on the internet and reading a few articles.
You can scare the snot out of yourself if you try.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, WebMD will tell you pretty much everything's cancer.
Yeah.
Or potentially cancer.
Right. So, don't be afraid to sit down and have conversations with somebody. It doesn't mean you have to start doing business with the first person you talk to. Had a younger couple in here a couple weeks ago, and we were actually the third group of investment advisors that they decided to sit down and talk to. And then they're going through the process of, seeing what the feel was for all of those different people they talked to, and then they'll move on from there. Now, I think they found our conversations to be, favorable, but the thing is, you have to go out and have some of those conversations in order to be able to start putting you in the right direction. Don't be afraid to do that.
Exactly. Yeah, and I guess the key is whether you're 25 or 45, if you're not participating in the market, tomorrow is the best day to start. You just need to get involved, because the growth you'll experience anywhere else, is not going to, in most instances, be what you can experience in a well-balanced portfolio over a long period of time. So don't be afraid, reach out to somebody, take a class even, and try and learn if you want, but don't wait, because waiting is the way to make sure that you're not going to have enough money to retire. If you're 25 today and you're making $100,000 a year, say you're making $70,000 a year, okay? You're going to need multiple millions of dollars when you retire. Wrap your mind around that. Multiple millions of dollars with inflation in order for you to be able to live on what you're making right now at 25. You can't wait till you're 40 to start saving for that.
And don't let that number scare you, but let that number motivate you to get on a plan to get you to where you need to be.
Exactly. We're always here to help as well. Give us a call, 888-98-MONEY is the number. All right, how to think about money for less than an hour a month. We're going to talk about automating your financial life right here on the Keeping Your Money Show.
It's never too late to plan for your future, and the Keeping Your Money Show can help. Our team of advisors can answer questions you may have about investing your money. Through Securities America, Inc., our advisors offer a diversified and comprehensive list of quality products and services. Call the Keeping Your Money Show at 1-888-98-MONEY or visit keepingyourmoney.com to schedule your free consultation.